So first we started applying, so I started to play button and I wasn't able to apply force for a little bit, and then I was able to start pulling, and then I needed to keep pulling until I was able to break the static friction force, like the friction force between the book and the table while the book wasn't moving. And then after I was able to apply that much force, 17.91 newtons, I was able to start the book moving. Once the book started moving at a constant speed, then the friction force went down, because while the book is moving, the molecules of the table and the molecules of the book cannot attract each other as strongly as when they were not moving. So when they were not moving, they can pull each other very strongly, because they have more time to attract, pull each other. So then that's why it's hard to start the book moving. I need to apply a lot of force, like 17.81, and then once the book starts moving, the molecules cannot pull each other that strong, so I only need to apply 7.86 newtons to break the kinetic friction, the friction between the book and the table while the surfaces are moving, sliding past each other. So the kinetic friction is called the sliding friction, and the static friction is called the starting friction. Static friction is the friction force while the book and the table are not moving. So once we break it, then the book starts moving, and then we don't need to apply anymore, like any of that strong force anymore. Like we just need to apply smaller force, which is like about 7.83 for the textbook and the workbook. And when we add more mass, let's say, or I remove the mass, now just the textbook. If I try to do the same thing again, so I click the play, and then I will start pulling. Now, as we see, the static friction force right before the book was moving, like that's the force that I need to apply to break the high static friction force was only 12.20 newtons, because now there is less mass on the table, so there is not much like pushing, the surfaces are not pushing that hard onto each other because of less weight. So that's the static friction, the peak static friction. And the kinetic friction was only 6.56 newtons, like 6.53. So while the book was moving, this part shows while the book was in motion, and this part before the book was moving. And over here, at that point, I was able to break that static friction, and then it started moving. Okay.